We start this second hour going around the diamond from this past weekend in Major League Baseball. And it was a big weekend series. Interleague action between Cleveland and Atlanta. The two best records in all of Major League Baseball, both entering the weekend and leaving it, despite the Braves winning this weekend series and doing so in extras in the finale yesterday. 4-3 in 10 innings. Atlanta gets the series win and the Game 3 win as well. Austin Riley, game-winning RBI single in the home half of the 10th that scored Ronald Acuna Jr. The Atlanta Braves, Donnie, one of the favorites to win the World Series before the year got started. Second best price, only behind the LA Dodgers, are living up to that expectation. 19-7, the record for the Braves, the best mark in all of the bigs.
Yeah, and a lower scoring game, 7 runs there in extra innings. With joke, the past couple weeks of the season, like, my goodness, just bet the Atlanta Braves. It's 5+ runs every single night. Who cares on the mound for them pitching? But now they're getting good pitching and also combating clutch hitting as well. They had nothing going on here, Ben. 3-1 in this game before the 8th inning where they tied it up at scored 2 runs to make it 3-3, then 1 in extras. The Braves are really good, and I love the parity across Major League Baseball right now, because if you're looking at the standings, even in the National League, there's a couple really good baseball teams that you could probably say have their own each awards here to probably go along and say, I think we can win the World Series at this point. But the Braves certainly at the top of the heap. Yeah. We expected them to be here even through injuries and not great pitching from their starters. Here they are, 19-7, and taking 2 out of 3 from the Guardians.
And when you look at the National League East at this moment, Atlanta is 19-7. The Phillies are playing some great ball right now. They've won 4 straight, 8 of their last 10. The Phils DRS 19-10. The New York Mets walk it off in extras yesterday against the Cardinals, 4-2 in 11 innings. The Amazons a game above 500 as well. So 3 teams out of the National League East that we all expect to contend for playoff spots, living up to that expectation at least to begin this Major League Baseball season. So that stayed under yesterday in Atlanta, even in extras. We had 2 games this weekend at altitude, not in Coors Field, but in Mexico City, between the Rockies and the Houston Astros. And the Astros take both of the games in Mexico City against the Rocks. And frankly, Houston needed it at this time. 8-2 the victory for the Astros yesterday against the Rockies. Both totals for these 2 games in Mexico City at 16, and both stayed under. Houston won 12-4 on Saturday. That game had a total pregame of 16.5. They win. Game stays under. 16 was the total yesterday. The Astros win 8-2.
Yeah, and also Valdez back on the mound. Good performance, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Like, yeah, that's average. No, that's really good in the environment that they played in, because the ball absolutely travels in Mexico City. But a good performance by the Astros against the lowly Rockies. And years ago, like when I have RBI props, right? You say, why are you just loading up on RBI props in the series? I actually bet one on Sunday here, and it was Diaz. Diaz was batting, I think, in the 6 or 7 hole yesterday, and was a -140 to get an RBI. So, that's not. Like, nobody's at -140. Everybody's at like +140 or higher. So it just goes to show you how many runs we were expecting in this game. And the Astros had played 8. And also, I didn't get that Diaz RBI, I believe, until the 8th inning on a 2-out double. So thank goodness that finally came in at a -140 price. But some of those games are fun at elevation. It catches you off guard. Like 16.5, where did that come from? And they almost got it.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of other big games last night. Sunday night baseball out in Fenway. The Red Sox, a 5-4 victory over the Chicago Cubs, walking it off. A blooper into shallow left off the glove of Chicago's shortstop, Dansby Swanson, gives the victory to the Sox and the series victory as well. And Donnie, Boston right now, some elite starting pitching. Tanner Hoke yesterday, 4 Boston, 6 2/3, only 1 earned run allowed, struck out 9. He's got a 1.60 ERA. Cutter Crawford off to a great start for Boston as well. The Red Sox, 3 games above 500, 16-13 in the American League East.
Yeah, sometimes you think about guys getting lucky. If you watch Tanner Houck actually pitch, he is a really good pitcher. He's got movement on his slider. I'm really impressed early season. And this is something that we were looking at the Boston Red Sox, where they were supposed to be dead last in the American League East. Now, granted, again, we're about a month into the season. Are we expecting Tanner Houck to be the Cy Young Award winner? Probably not. And he will have his rough starts. It's a small ballpark. It's going to heat up. Let's see what happens. But 16-13 for the Red Sox through 29 games, they'll take that here, because we expected them to just be driving that basement bus all throughout the summer. And here they are playing good baseball.
Second best record right now, third best record right now in the American League East behind the Baltimore Orioles at 17-10. The Yankees win the series against the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. 15 runs yesterday for the Bombers against the Brew Crew. New York puts up 15 in a 15-5 victory over Milwaukee. Aaron Judge got it started, a 441-foot home run in the top of the first for New York.
Yeah, and also you're waiting for some of these guys to wake up, and that's not like they weren't playing in elevation. They weren't playing in a great hitter's ballpark and putting up monstrous numbers. We're waiting for the Yankees here to turn it on at 19-10. That is a great first month here, and also talking about the preseason projections where we expected them to be great, not getting a lot of great starts here early in the season. Top flight starting pitching, not providing an. So still waiting, like Judge, he's only hitting 211 here on the season. Let's see that winter, winter weather move out and finally, Ben, 80 degrees here in the Northeast. We're finally seeing that shift. Woo! We might be seeing an all-time performance up in the Bronx this year, man. I can't wait to see when that's 85 to 90-degree weather in that small ballpark and Stanton is clicking and Judge is clicking and Soto's clicking, man. We're going to have some good times with some RBI props for sure there.
The Dodgers take 2 of 3 against the Blue Jays up in the Great White North, but Toronto did win the series finale yesterday to avoid the sweep. Now let's look around Major League Baseball where things stack up from the World Series odds. The Dodgers and the Braves still in front of the pack, plus 360 for LA. Atlanta has the best record in the bigs at plus 470, just over $1 behind the Dodgers, but the Yankees are keeping things close at 6 and 6-1, the price, 19-10, the record for the Pinstripes, second best in all the American League, only behind the Guardians, and the Orioles, fourth best price at 11-1. But you can see the big three, at least from the odds makers' perspective, that we see right now, the three teams with 3 digits in their World Series numbers: Dodgers, Braves, Yankees, in that order.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm taking a look at the National League here. You got some big boys up top. You talk about the big 3 in Major League Baseball. How about the big 3 in the NL? That's the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers aren't playing particularly unbelievable baseball based on the type of talent they have, but still 18-12, and they're benefiting now from a division that isn't playing great baseball either. Everybody in their division is under 500 here, so that's good for the Dodgers. But you, as you said, to start off the telecast here, Braves, Phillies, and Mets all over 500, playing some good baseball here. And also, that was a Mets team that started off basically like, oh no, this might be a disastrous season. We're still waiting for Francisco Lindor to absolutely light it up. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, to go yard. But I like what I'm seeing here early in the season. There's a lot of parity across baseball here, outside of some teams that just can't win many baseball games. You look at the leaderboards here in each one of these divisions, they're really good baseball teams.
When you look at the American League West, nobody playing great baseball. As we share, the Astros snapped a 5-game skid, winning both of the games in the Mexico City series against the Colorado Rockies, but they're still 9-19. Is there value on the Stros as May approaches this week at 14-1? I'm not so sure. Only 2 teams in that division, Seattle and Texas, above 500. The M's 2 games above 500. Texas a game above 500.